You're listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Cult of Campbell. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
And this is a book review here on Cult of Campbell. The very first novel we're reviewing here on Cult of Campbell. It's a very classy way to spend the 4th of July.
And a very classy opening, Ty. I was not prepared for how
Welcome,
classy
everyone, to Cult Talk Net Public Radio. Joined with me today is my co-host, Eric, as we review the poet laureate Bruce Campbell's political thriller, Citizen Alex. Let freedom ring.
Let freedom ring.
Didn't expect that, did you?
No, not at all.
The big boom.
That was so classy. I was overwhelmed.
Nice way to bring everyone in. We're reviewing a work of literature.
We are. Yeah, that's right. We're getting sophisticated up in this bitch.
We are.
I mean, sophisticated up in this female canine.
This is the first novel we've done on Cult of Campbell.
Yes.
We've done a couple books in the past that are graphic novels. We did graphic novelization of Man with the Screaming Brain.
Mm-hmm.
And we did the graphic novel of Bubba Hotep versus Army of Darkness.
That's right. Yes.
This would be the second Bruce penned book, because he didn't pen the Bubba Hotep Army of Darkness graphic novel, but he did write Man with the Screaming Brain,
right?
Based on his screenplay, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first novel we've done of his.
Very different.
Very different. A lot different than I was expecting it to be too.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about this because this book came out in. I have it wrote down here, but my notes are all askew. It came out on January 16th of 2023.
Okay.
So Martin Luther King Day of this year.
Wow.
Came out. Yeah, it's a very new book, and I've looked online, and there's not really anyone else who's done a review of it. So it's only fitting that, of course, the #1 Bruce Campbell podcast in the world,
of course,
would let people know, hey, Bruce has this really cool short, like a novella, I guess what you call it, right?
Probably novella territory.
Yeah. It's a digital novella.
Yeah.
Available on Amazon. Right now, it's only digital only. I don't know if there's plans for it to be put on print, but it is advertised as there's going to be an Audible book of it coming out.
Oh, good.
Read by Bruce Campbell.
That will be amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait, because I will revisit this just to hear him read it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing about this too, the really cool thing is all the artwork for it is Bruce Campbell, and the artwork, for whenever you see there's illustrations all through the book.
Yep.
And you'll see our main character, the aforementioned Citizen Alex, and every time they show him, it's Bruce Campbell.
It's amazing. It's so brilliant.
And the whole time you're reading this book, it's Bruce Campbell. That's what I envisioned in my head. These were Bruce Campbell saying these things.
Right. Yeah. The main character, Alex, is Bruce Campbell. Even before I realized what you were talking about with the illustrations of it, it is Bruce Campbell. It's the way this guy talks is
the wit, the quips, the one-liners, just the way he structures everything.
Yep.
It's Bruce Campbell. So the whole time you're reading it, in my head, visualizing the book as you do when you're reading.
Right.
It's Bruce Campbell as Citizen Alex.
Just through and through. Yeah.
Just through and through, yeah.
It really is.
It made it really
uncanny.
Fun.
It did.
This is written by Bruce Campbell, as we said. This is fully his work. No co-author listed. Nothing like that. It's straight up Bruce Campbell. This is, I think, I want to say the third nonfiction. Is that what this is, nonfiction?
This would be fiction. This would be fiction.
Okay, I always get nonfiction and fiction mixed up.
Right. Yeah.
This is the third one, I think, because I know he has one of his books is a fictitious telling of him being cast on an A-list mainstream studio picture, and how he fucks it up.
Oh,
because of his sensibilities and his B movie ways, he ends up fucking up the whole production.
No kidding. Nice. Oh, that's
then we have one that we might be doing here soon. Me and Eric talked about it. House Divided, which is available on Audible. So we might visit that here soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the third one I think of his. It's non-fiction. Aside from the graphic novel stuff and the comic books that he's done, because he does have a pretty deep bank of like comics he's had hands in working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first one I know of that's nonfiction that he's done.
Or fiction.
And this is the first one I've read, the first nonfiction novel of Bruce Campbell's I've read. But this is so fitting that this is our 4th of July episode here on Cult of Campbell, because this book is just like gushing with patriotic Independence Day, just craziness. I mean, the book is basically, if you wanted like a 1,000-foot overview of the book, it's National Treasure through Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. That's a pretty darn good way of putting it. It really is like just a condensed National Treasure with Bruce Campbell.
Which makes you wish, man, imagine a movie with Bruce Campbell and Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that would be wild.
That would be wild.
Holy cow. I don't know. It might be better that hasn't happened, because I don't think the world could handle something that crazy.
They should do Face Off 2 or Bruce Campbell and Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
Nicolas Cage switches faces with Bruce Campbell this time.
Oh, jeez.
Could you imagine Bruce doing Nicolas Cage doing Bruce?
That would be so great.
Man, that's the summer blockbuster we need.
Man, I do hope I need to at least see a Bruce Campbell doing an impression of Nick Cage at least once.
He does do a lot of impressions. I don't know if I ever seen Nicolas Cage, but he does a lot of impressions.
And
I'm gonna have to have Chat GPT generate that script for me. I'll have to ask it to do that just to see what it spits out.
What in the world is going to come out with something like that?
That would be
good. Lord.
That would be a treat. This is 4th of July. Tomorrow is of course Independence Day. You got any plans for the 4th of July, Eric? What are you doing?
Oh, I'll probably be watching some fireworks and drinking a beer, and just in general letting the patriotism flow through me.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll be kicking back a couple brewskis and grilling out some steaks.
Oh, there you go.
Hanging out by the pool.
Yeah.
Which is why I did. That's how I read this. This book is it's super short. I mean, it's a novella. It's a leisure read.
Right.
67 pages.
I think that
total.
Sounds right. I believe it is. Yeah. So not very barely out of short story territory, really.
Barely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was looking on Amazon. They have average read time, something like an hour, 17 minutes or something like that listed. I read it in 2 sessions, just hanging out by the pool.
Nice.
Went down the pool with a beer, sat down on one of the chairs, and read a little bit, got in the pool, swam, all that stuff. And it was just a super chill read. Just a nice, relaxed read. There's not too much going on in it. I mean, it's very straightforward. I don't say that in a bad way.
Right. Yeah.
Not too much going on there. It's very straightforward. It's like a book you read on a flight.
Right, like an airplane novel. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I would say I agree. It's like a simple, very straightforward prose. It's written very directly, like you said. It doesn't have a lot of flowery prose to it where there's tons of metaphor and this and that.
Yeah, there's
a
not
lot
a
of
bunch
thrillers aren't
of
written.
There's not a bunch of subplots or anything like that.
Right.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah,
there was a few things I was I see going in this. I really had no idea of what the book was.
Right.
Because you look at the cover and you think it's a historical drama. I thought it was just going off the cover and the name. I was like, is this going to be somehow this Citizen Alex based on Bruce Campbell is responsible for the cracking of the Liberty Bell or something? That's why I was in my head. That's why I was is that some kind of that's the plot of it? Somehow this character Citizen Alex has this huge impact on history.
That's great.
And then earlier when when I was reading the book, I actually got into it and realized what it was. I thought it was going to be something because we were introduced to Citizen Alex and he's a war reenactor.
Yep.
And he has this really ragtag kind of shitty
unit or troop
unit that he's a part of.
Yeah.
And then there's there's the opposing unit, which is this really well put together.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be something like that. Him and his ragtag group of war reenactors have to combat this
hoity-toity.
Yeah,
really
it's like an elite group of war reenactors to get this MacGuffin back that we'll talk about here shortly. What the focus is. But I thought that was going to be what it was going to be like this, like ragtag group versus the elite kind of thing. But it didn't go that way. But I did like the way it went. I was trying to figure out what it was. I had no real idea of what the story was going into it. Because even like the description of the book doesn't even give you that much details. It focuses a lot on the main theme of the book is what is a patriot.
Oh,
that's like the main question that's posed in the what makes a patriot.
Okay.
So
that's great. I didn't really look into anything going into it. I just kind of dove in. We watched movies so much. I actually was kind of afraid I'd forgotten how to fucking read. So I just was excited to get started on it once I grabbed it. So yeah, I didn't look at the description or anything.
It was a little bit of a struggle for me to get into it, cracking it open, because I'm so used to watching movies, and like I all my books I read, I listen to through Audible.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a big Audible guy.
Now. Yeah.
Because I'm at work or driving, you throw on a novel and you listen to it in a few hours. And I was like, man, I haven't read a novel in like forever. Luckily, this is a short breeze to read. It took me just 2 sessions by the pool to get through.
I was pretty relieved. Yeah, because we do a lot. I mean, Ben does a lot more books than I do for Cult of Lore, but I still, have to go through some books for Cult of Lore. And my primary mode of income is driving around. And so Audible is just, that's just the way to go. I have to listen to it or I might not have the time to get it.
Right.
So I was kind of intimidated, like to go in and actually read a book, which is, just for context on me to the listeners who wouldn't know, like I used to read so much that I would get in trouble for neglecting other things. You know what I mean? Like I used to be such a big reader, and, just as adult life and then, movie stuff and podcast stuff took over, I read less and less. So I was a little like, oh my gosh, am I really going to be able to do this?
I was the same way. I I started like trying to read it. I was like, maybe I just like hope Eric reads it, then I'll piggyback off his review. I was like, no, I'll read it. So I read it. But it did take me a little bit to work up to it. Like I started off like reading a couple pages here. I'd lay in bed, read like a page, and I'd get bored. And then finally I went out the pool and kind of figured out, I like kind of just chilling out here in the sun reading. So
yeah,
that made it a lot easier.
But, yeah. Nice.
This is our third Cult of Campbell 4th of July special.
Whoa.
Wow. You've been on all 3 of them.
I have.
I've been on all 3 of them too.
Right.
Yeah, we've been on all 3 of them. We did in 2021, we did Burn Notice, The Fall of Sam Axe.
Oh, yeah.
Got a groovy rating.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to revisit that with Mike. That's when I really want to revisit, because I know there was a lot of things there you and I probably didn't catch because we're not burn notice heads or whatever you call those people.
Burn heads, maybe.
Burn heads, yeah. Burnouts.
Burnouts. I like that. There we go. We're not burnouts.
we're not burnouts like Mike is, and I think it'd be fun for you and I to sit down with him and like revisit it, and him like show us all the stuff we definitely missed, because I think you and I caught like all the Evil Dead references and all that stuff, but
right.
I'm sure there's a lot of wink and nods to the Burn Notice fan base that went right over our heads.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a certified groovy, so it qualifies for the certified groovy revisits we're doing.
Hell yeah.
Last year, we did McHale's Navy.
Oh yeah. Now
which did not get a groovy rating.
Okay, and I actually don't think I was on that one.
You weren't on that? Was it me? Maybe it was me, Bailey, and Urs.
Maybe.
Might have been me, Bailey, and Urs.
Might have been. Maybe I was on it, and
maybe. You're pretty forgettable all the time.
It's true. It's true. I am.
I can't remember if you were on it or not. I know me, Bailey, and Urs were. Now I'm questioning if you were or not.
Yeah.
But that did not get a groovy rating. That was a slog to get through that movie. That was a rough one. That was not the grooviest way to spend 4th of July. But that episode does really well for some reason.
Huh.
Like when it first came out, it like did like really well, and like it's like one of those episodes you look back on like the tracking, and you'll see like every so often it'll just get like a couple dozen listens out of nowhere, just for no real reason,
just keeps ticking up.
Yeah, just for no real reason. This is our 3rd year doing a 4th of July special. I talked about this in the Jaws episode about our you were not on McHale's Navy. No, it was me, Bailey, Ben, and Urs.
Oh, okay.
Makes more sense. I think Ben was like a big proponent of wanting to do that movie.
Right.
But we back our first year doing this podcasting thing, this shtick we do. We did a 4th of July special that got never released.
Oh yeah. The
We
last
did a
episode.
video, our very first video attempt at doing a video episode.
Right.
We did Uncle Sam, the 1996.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Holiday slasher.
Yeah.
And
we were
that
all
never made it to air.
No, we were all decked out in our red, white, and blue. And
we had 3 camera angles or 2 camera angles.
I think we did 3. I think we had a wide and then two other angles. Yeah.
We decked out in 4th of July stuff. We grilled hot dogs.
Yep.
We had beer, and we ended up not. We edited it. We filmed it.
Yep.
And I think we had made the decision. I made the decision. I'll go and own up to it. I made the decision for us not to wear headphones because I was like, "This looks." We only had like 2 headphones or something like that. We had like 2 sets of headphones.
Right.
And I was like, "It'd look weird if only there was 5 of us in the episode." I was like, "It'd look weird if only 2 of us wore headphones."
Yeah.
So I made the decision for us not to wear headphones. And because of that, we had no idea that the levels weren't correct on it. And the audio was unusable. So
couldn't use
I forced Ben and Eric to watch Uncle Sam. They had to sit down and talk about it, and then all for naught. It's just a movie you've seen now.
Yep. Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah. So now if anyone ever asks, have you seen Uncle Sam? You at least can now say, yes, I have.
Yes, I have seen Uncle Sam.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll save you the embarrassment of having to tell them, no, I haven't seen that.
I know. Yeah. Boy, I don't know what I would have done,
But let's go ahead and let's talk about this. This is our very first book review here on Cult of Campbell. Eric and I are going to be talking about Citizen Alex 2023. This is probably the most recent thing we've done so far on Cult of Campbell, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
Just earlier this year is when it came out. So I think that's right.
So this is one of the more recent Bruce things we've done. So let's go ahead. Let's sit back. Let's open our books. Let's get groovy.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my boomstick.
So this was obviously you and I's first time reading Citizen Alex, Let Freedom Ring.
Yeah.
I had heard about this earlier this year, and I was like, because obviously people can probably tell Cult of Campbell was a little on the back burner. It's got its own life. It's just living. It's kind of in that twilight. It's just kind of doing what it wants right now.
Right.
We're hitting it for the big specials, trying to find things. We went pretty heavy the last 2 years and burn up a lot of our Bruce content.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why we're kind of incorporating these revisits when we can. But Cult of Campbell is kind of our little special thing. It pops up every now and then. Like, hey, here's a little callback to where we got started. Here's Cult of Campbell for your blank holiday special, whatever it is. We'll throw it up. Or whenever something relevant comes up, we like to do it. So I was like, man, I want to make sure we keep the tradition of doing a 4th of July special going for it, as long as we can. While we still have content to put there. And this book came up and I was like, I haven't read in a long time. Like sit down and actually read a book on my own volition. I have to read for work and stuff like that.
Right.
But to sit down and actually make the decision to read a book, I haven't done in a long time. So I seen this, thought about it, I was like, this is probably a good thing to do for the 4th of July because no one else is probably doing a book review of this. And from what I can see, no one has. So that gives us the upper hand here, being the only podcast doing a book review over Citizen Alex. Let Freedom Ring. So.
That's right.
However, on Amazon, this book is doing pretty well.
Oh, good.
I looked up the rating on it. I don't know sales wise how it's doing, but
Right.
27 pages, $5. Pretty good deal, I think.
Or 67, isn't it? 67 pages?
67, yeah, 67 pages.
$5. Yeah.
$5. I mean, that's a good deal, I think. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's more than worth the $5. I mean, it's
Yes.
something if you're getting ready to go on a plane trip or hell, even a long car ride or just hanging out by the pool, like I said, it's such an easy book to just kick back and read.
Yeah.
It's an easy read. $5 is nothing for it. Right now, it currently holds, as of recording, a 4.2 out of 5 average rating on Amazon.
Oh,
So
that's
pretty
great.
good.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good rating.
Okay. Yeah. I gave it a 5-star when I was done with it for old
I did
Brucey.
too.
Yeah.
I did too. Yep.
Yep.
Hear that, Bruce?
Yeah.
Looking out for you.
Yeah. Looking out.
I'm always bad about doing reviews. I need to start doing them more. So
Oh, I am too.
obviously we want people to review our stuff. So
Right,
if you
yeah.
listen to this, make sure you give us a review.
Yeah.
So I want to try to be better about that. That's one of my things going into this year. I want to try to be better about giving reviews.
There you go. Build up that review karma.
Yeah, build up some karma there because I listen to all kinds of Audible books and podcasts, and I always forget to go and give them a little rating. So if you're listening to this, join me in building review karma.
Yeah.
Give us a nice review on whatever you're listening to.
Yeah.
Let's make that a thing.
There we go. Yeah.
Everyone start
Make it
reviewing
a thing.
things.
Everyone start reviewing things.
And also, we'll get flooded with negative reviews. We'll take them though.
I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think. Do we have any? We barely have any reviews. I don't think. I couldn't even tell you that.
Cult of Campbell has enough reviews where it's actually listed.
Oh, really?
We have a 4.4 overall rating on Spotify.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look at
We've
us
been
go.
going for 2 years, so
Right.
it's amassed enough reviews. All the other shows show 5 stars, but I don't know how many reviews they have.
Right.
If it's just like the blanket, like here's 5 stars until like stuff starts adding up, averaging out. But yeah, all of other shows show 5 stars, but I don't know how accurate that is. But yeah, Cult of Campbell, that's been pretty good over the 2 years it's been alive.
Oh, great. All right.
So this right here takes place in modern times, which I was thrown off by. I thought for sure this was a historical piece.
Right.
Thought for
Yeah.
sure, just from the way it's marketed, the way it looks, the cover art, all that stuff. It just looks like it's gonna be a colonial set period piece, but no, it's set in modern day, set on 4th of July.
How perfect.
So, perfect.
How perfect.
Had no idea that's what it was going to be.
No.
Set on 4th of July. I read that. I was like, it all worked out.
I
It's like
know.
a classic case of Campbell fate.
Campbell
It's
fate.
just-
Yep.
just
You
all
can't
landed
go
there.
wrong when you're following the stars to that chin. You just
It hasn't steered us wrong yet.
It hasn't. You just
Not
follow
yet.
that guiding light.
Yep. Yeah, it takes place on 4th of July, and we meet Citizen Alex, aka Alexander Alex Madison, who is a descendant of the great James Madison. And they bring that up a few times in this book.
They do.
And this dude is a history nut. He's all about 4th of July. He is a proud red-blooded American.
Yep.
Very proud of his ancestry, very proud of his country.
Very
he is
knowledgeable of all
very
things.
knowledgeable. That's one of the things that makes him very useful in this book.
Yeah.
Bruce has the characters he plays in certain movies. It'll always be like an average guy with like an odd profession that somehow turns out to be overwhelmingly useful.
Right.
Like you look at Evil Dead. It's like he's just a regular guy who just happens to be an engineer.
Yep.
Makes a fucking chainsaw hand.
Yeah, makes a chainsaw hand.
Alien Apocalypse. He's a ostician,
That's
osteopath.
Right. Osteopath. Yep.
Who becomes a great healer.
Yeah.
Saves humanity. It's just the things he does. He's just you'll see him as a character, and the character always has some like weird profession,
right?
And then by the end of it, it's like, well, good thing he was that weird profession because it's just what we needed.
Because otherwise, where would they be? Yeah,
right. And his profession is he's a proofreader. He's a professional proofreader.
Yeah, of all things, I thought that was very
of all
strange.
things, professional proofreader
because he's making comments on typos or not typos
and like historical documents and stuff like that.
Yeah. I thought that was so funny. Proofreader. Okay.
I thought this was going to come into play more. I thought like, I read that. I was like, I wondered if there was going to be a like forged document at a certain point. He was going to be like, hey, wait a second. That's not it because of this, but
not so much in this case. Yeah. It comes into play a little bit when they're at his house or apartment or whatever, and he's got all those books as reference material, but it didn't play as big a role as I thought it would.
Yeah, I was certain it was coming to play that way, but no, he becomes super useful just because of his passion for history,
right?
And especially the founding fathers and Declaration of Independence, all that. So he is a Revolutionary War reenactor, and he has a regiment that he leads that are just full of a bunch of oafs. Just guys that don't take it as seriously as he does.
Right. And they have all sorts of historical inaccuracies. One guy was wearing Nikes because they're comfortable.
One guy had sunglasses, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. They're not taking it as seriously as he is.
Right.
And this is 4th of July. There's opens up in Washington, D.C. There's this big parade going on, 4th of July, and they're going to do it's just a big parade. There's a bunch of other regiments there. It's a big deal, and there is another regiment there who are just super dressed to the gild. I mean, they have like authentic wares. What things he's like fixated on the buttons,
really
right?
Impressed with I think it was pewter buttons.
Yeah, they have pewter buttons.
Yeah,
but these guys are not there just for the parade.
They are.
This is a group known as we'll find out later. They are collectively known as the Founding Fathers.
The Founding Fathers,
and they are led by a man named Jacob Harris. And these guys have a plan. They're not here in DC just join the parade and celebrating the national holiday. They're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence
and the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. This is the one problem I have with the book. They do it with such ease.
I know. It's done. It's done.
I felt like, can I steal the Constitution?
I know. It felt very, very attainable.
It's like over the course of like a couple pages, they like enter the museum, access some underground part, and just check the documents, and they are out.
Off they go. It is
off they go. It is super underwhelming. That's the biggest negative I can give the book, and it's right. it kind of goes hand in hand with the way this book is structured, because it is just a breeze to read. And I think it was just like, let's get past this so we can tell the rest. I think he had an idea of how he wanted the story to go, but it was just like, let's get through this. They steal the Declaration of Independence.
And get the Constitution. Off they go.
Yeah, they steal two of the most valued documents in United States history in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, like I think
with almost no fucking hassle at all. It's just
they have to tie up a couple of guys, but they've already got someone on the inside a little bit, and it's just off they go. Alex is like struggling just to put on his little reenactment show with his mooks, and while that's going on, they just waltz in and waltz out. It feels like
it does. It's like just in out, no qualms about it. Just a breeze. They've got these documents in hand, and they're out. It's not long though. Actually, Alex crosses paths with them as they leave.
Yes, on their way
as they're leaving, they're kind of blending in with the rest, because there's just like a huge amount of these reenactors have converged on DC at this time.
Right.
Because, it's 4th of July, it's a big spectacle, and a huge number of. So these guys are able to just kind of flesh right in with them.
But they stand out to Alex because of how well their costuming is, how historically accurate and stuff. And so he kind of starts scrutinizing them, doing that. It's so Bruce, where he's just like, hey, and what about these buttons here? They're just like trying to brush them off,
He actually at one point has the documents in hand.
Right.
Unbeknownst to him.
Yeah.
One of the guys drops a satchel.
Yep.
And he's super impressed with the satchel too, because it's like authentic material. It's like, he's like, whoa, he's got the satchel, he's holding it up, like, looking at it, here, you dropped your satchel. Yeah. And we find out later that's the satchel that contains the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence.
He had it right so close. And that's when picking up that satchel for him is also what gets him caught by the FBI. They see,
it's the FBI realizes pretty quickly what's happened because there's tour groups going through the museum and stuff,
right?
And hey, here's the Declaration of Independence, and it's gone. And that causes a big thing. And they're able to single him out amongst all the other people.
Right.
They single out old Alex Madison.
Yep.
And he is taken in, and this is where we're introduced to our second main character, FBI agent Renee LaFleur. Who the whole time when I was, so I had Bruce Campbell on the brain, reading it. That's who I had put in the role of Alex Madison. Renee LaFleur, as I was reading this, I put in her place Renee O'Connor.
Oh, from Xena and
Alien Apocalypse. I put her in there. That's who I put in that spot.
Nice. That's good. So I wonder if the name wasn't on anyway. Yeah. Oh, man. I wish I would have put Renee in there. That would have been perfect. Missed opportunity on my part. Just you remember, listeners, when you're reading this book now, it's Renee O'Connor. What it's O'Connor, right? Yeah. I
think so. Renee O'Connor. That's who I was putting in there.
That's great.
As her. So it was like Bruce and her, trying to stop this terrorist. I didn't put anyone in the place of the terrorist guy or the our villain Josh. Jacob Harris.
Yeah.
I didn't put anyone in his boots for some reason.
No, I didn't.
There is a character later I placed as Ted Raimi.
Oh.
I forget what that character was. It was the guy he calls like Willie or something. He calls him like he's like, hey, Willie or Wally or what was his name?
I think it was Wall. What was it? It was he was the parade organizer.
Yes, I for some reason had pegged him as Ted Raimi for some reason.
That is great
because it was just like it's like weird, like this kind of like colorful like character that just kind of gets he's a little background character, pops in, pops out.
Yeah,
I was like that'd be kind of a role Ted would get, kind of like a little cameo.
Yeah. Oh,
that's why I placed him. Wally. It's Wally. He calls him. Wally J. That's who. Walter Jones is his name. Or Walter Johns. I had put him as Ted Raimi.
That's good. I'll bet. Yep. Yep. Nice. That fits.
That's how I kind of structured that. But Alex Madison is the number one suspect to be behind this whole thing. And this book, like we're going to speed through it.
Okay.
But this is pretty much the pace of the book.
Right. It's boom,
like
boom.
It's like Declaration of Independence gets stolen. Alex Madison's a suspect. Now he's working with the FBI all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just boom, boom, boom. It's these pages, it's 67 pages digital, which these digital pages are smaller than what traditional pages are.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the way I was reading it, I was like, man, it didn't feel like a full page you would see in like a novella. Because I imagine the actual novella was going to come up to like 40 pages. I imagine.
Yeah.
Just that way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just a quick story. It really is, but it's not to his detriment at all. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
It's just the way it is. It's just a quick breeze to read. It's a fun little story. It's a fun little tale.
Efficient storytelling. Is that what you would call it?
There you go. A-B storytelling. Yep. Efficient storytelling.
So
that's what it's about. And that's why I liked it. It's a great example of efficient storytelling. That's what
it is. I think so. It really is. And they made it make sense why he was kind of along for the ride. He went from suspect to he kept proving how useful his knowledge was.
Consultant.
Yeah. Yep. A consultant. Because he ended up knowing so that's one thing I did like about the way that we were introduced to his character was because I was kind of like, okay, what was the point of these reenactors if that was it? Like we don't see them again in the story.
No, never do. Which I was I already in my head thought this was gonna be like the
like I was like trying to remember their names and stuff like that.
Right.
So but then I'm like, okay, why were they in there? And it's because he's the one who has all of the know-how and all of the historical knowledge and stuff, and he's working with people that don't, and so it immediately sets that up about his character. And then we kind of see
there's a really good example of it later.
Yes. Yes.
Where he really starts, you see how essential he is to getting through to this founding fathers group. Because these founding fathers, they are like to a T. They are like they live in history.
Yes. Yes, they
like,
do.
Everything they do, like they want America to go back to like the colonial times. Like
Right.
that's the way it seems. Like they want all this technology bullshit to go away. They want it to be like colonial times. You find out later like the weird way they want to communicate.
Oh yeah.
They're always on horseback. You know, you never see them in cars, but they always have they're always on horseback. But they have no problem using like automatic weapons and stuff.
Their weapons were the only modern part of their whole thing. Yeah.
Which is really because this book, definitely check it out because it has like some really fun illustrations in it. Oh, I really liked, and they're like kind of like those. I don't know what you'd call like they're very historical looking.
Yeah,
like,
they look like sketches or etchings or
etchings.
Is that what it is? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're like etching style illustrations.
Yeah. It's just the lines. Like you don't get any color. You get some
and
shading,
there's these really fun like they at one point kind of reenact the convention of when the Declaration of Independence was being drafted.
Yes, I know
the Constitution was being drafted, and like you see this, but then it's like a colonial guy with an assault rifle.
Yes,
just kind of hanging out, and it's super fun imagery. Like a guard in the middle of the Independence Hall, but he's got an M16.
Yeah, but otherwise he's dressed just. So
otherwise,
colonial.
It's like it's some guy out of history, but he's just got a assault rifle. So that's the aspect of them. These guys, these founding fathers, are just they are true patriots in their mind.
Right. Yeah.
They want America to go back to the glory days.
Yep.
Of colonial times, which is why they take the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence.
Mm-hmm.
So Alex Madison, he very quickly kind of at least gets Renee on board that he had nothing to do with it.
Right. Yeah.
There's still what Julius, is that his name? The other FBI
Julius.
agent who's bad cop.
Or there was another one too, wasn't there? And it started with an R. He was bad cop.
Roger
was kind of bad cop, and then Julius was the head top dog sort of guy.
Julius was the head of it, and Roger's kind of the guy who doesn't trust Alex at all for a majority of it.
Yeah.
But he does kind of get Renee on board. He had nothing to do with it. They go back to his house. He lives in Alexandria, Virginia, which is kind of cool. He has this like colonial style house that's been like in his family. They apparently won it in like a land lottery, which I guess was like a thing back then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess. I don't know enough. So this book does make reference to a lot of historical stuff that
a lot.
I mean, like it's like I don't know most of this, but I will say it's very good at getting you through it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it gives you enough to understand. Like,
because Bruce wrote this on his own volition. Bruce must be like a history buff.
I kind of wondered that too. It's like I didn't realize that he was so into revolutionary, American history and stuff like that. So because this book definitely like it shows that he must be some sort of enthusiast or something.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of stuff in here went over my head, but then like you said, the book does a good job of like kind of
it gives you enough.
Because Alex has all the knowledge, but all the characters around him don't. So you have like the little spots where he, something is brought forth, and then Alex will explain it to the characters and the audience.
Yeah,
what the importance is of this.
Right. Yeah.
So you're not just like totally lost.
Right. It's not just like giving you a reference and then like leaving you to fucking look it up or something, which there is room, I think, to like explore this stuff further, but he gives you enough for the story to work,
Definitely.
Yeah.
He lives in this really colonial house. You kind of find out he has a history guy. He has a library in his house. It's full of a bunch of like colonial history books and stuff.
Yeah, no fiction.
Clears his name of everything, and then we go to where the majority of the book takes place. There's a line that I like when they're in his house. Renee is like, "Don't you have any
fiction?
Fiction? Any fiction? 'Cause it's all like history books and stuff." And she finds a book called 10 Ways to Please Your Woman. And he's like, I knew I had some fiction around here somewhere.
That was great. That was a great line. You're right.
Which is a Bruce line. Like that's Bruce. That's like the thing. It's like that you read that and in your head, that's Bruce Campbell saying that.
Yep. Yeah.
So it just works so well. It's so damn damn good.
It does. So quippy. Oh my gosh.
A majority of the book takes place in Philadelphia.
Yep.
At Independence Hall, which has a lot of historical significance.
Yes. That's where,
especially when you take into account what the plan is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now,
What
is that
the
where
plan, Eric?
the plan? They are going to amend the Constitution,
Yes.
based on some very old rules.
I have the rule. I took a screenshot.
Oh, good. Okay,
I
good.
made sure I screenshotted
That was smart.
I was like, yeah.
Because I've kind of,
So they go to the Independence Hall, which also another example of efficient storytelling is like they just have control. Then we cut to they have control of Independence Hall.
They just have it. Yep. They walk in, they got it. Yeah.
It's just,
you're right.
Oh, hey, we found them. Yeah, they're in control of Independence Hall.
Yep, they've taken it over. They have some hostages now. It's all it was like one sentence of them
they have like a paragraph where like someone has like a cell phone video where it just shows like them walk in and basically say you're all hostages.
Yep. They huddle them into a corner and we have hostages and control of the hall. And that's it's
we have in a matter of hours stolen the Constitution and taken control of Independence Hall on 4th of July.
On the 4th of July. Yes. The most significant document of the United States at one of the most significant sites in the United States on one of the most significant days of the United States. It's amazing what you can get away with colonial costume. Yeah.
These guys are just on it. They are efficient.
They are.
Let's see. So they made a list of demands of what they're trying to ratify.
Right.
They are going to ratify. They're going to repeal the 16th Amendment.
Oh, right. Which one was that?
That was income tax.
Oh, right. Because that was, and that's interesting. I didn't know it was to help fund World War I. Apparently, yeah. So
and from what the book tells you, like it was never like officially agreed upon. Like it was never like it just kind of it was supposed to be like a thing that was temporarily put in place, and then
they just
was supposed to be gone away with, and then they were just like, let's keep it in there. Let's see here. The gold standard, which is that is referred to as number 192.
Oh, okay.
Congress suspended the gold standard,
right?
Which I don't really understand what that is. I don't know what the gold standard is.
The gold standard, my understanding of it is that like the price of the value of $1 is based off of the value of gold that is held by the government.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we did get away from the gold standard now, and I don't know what necessarily.
Okay. So they're wanting to re-implement that. They want to re-implement that.
Basically having like solid material as the backing for your currency, back the currency
rather than
gold,
whatever the fuck.
However it's figured out now.
It's instructed
I have
now.
no idea. I think it's all speculative.
And then First Statute 77, Section 9, which Alex explains is admiralty law, which are laws governing the open seas, where someone says the admiral, in order to maintain discipline, has the ultimate authority to make you do things.
Right. That's right.
He calls them behavioral laws, which would be things like making a law you have to wear a seatbelt,
right?
Kind of thing. Like,
that was the example.
You have to do these things that we say you have to do,
right?
Because we say you do.
Because we say so.
They won those laws.
Yeah, which is they made the point that it's important at sea because you're in a very isolated life or death kind of environment. So it's that was where the exception was made there versus being
right
on soil and subject to voting.
So they basically want to just do away with taxes, reestablish gold standard, and stop the government from stop the government from telling you to do things because they want you to do them.
Right. Yeah.
Which doesn't really sound like that all that bad of a deal.
I mean,
they're kind of hard to look at them as the bad guys.
Yeah. It's pretty good motivation for your bad. I like my bad guys to be understandable. I like to look at them and go, oh, they're not just mustache twirlers. They're like, they have a reason for doing what they're doing,
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot of work to be villainous. Like, you need a good reason to do it. need a good enough reason, an understandable one, I should say, not good, but understandable.
Right. And they have some very weird demands on how they're going to communicate.
Yeah. This gets me.
It all has to be written on parchment.
On parchment.
With a quill pen.
In ink. Yeah, of course.
In ink, from a quill pen. That's the only way they will communicate. They're not going to communicate over radio or cell phone or email.
Right. No.
It's got to be handwritten, delivered,
Yeah, by a citizen of the United States, but not a government
official.
Yeah, no FBI, no nothing. Yeah,
which I thought for a minute when this happens, because we see a little bit of it, where Alex also becomes the smartest guy in the room at certain points.
Yep.
Where they're like, where the fuck do we find parchment? And he has an idea. He's like, there's a bunch of fake. We print these bogus Declaration of Independence things for souvenirs.
Yep.
Find out where there's a printed that's parchment.
Yep.
And then they're like, oh, where the fuck do we find a quill?
Yep.
Well, there's a
reenactment supply store. It sounded like
something like that. Some kind of Benjamin Franklin office. That's like made like a replica Benjamin Franklin's replica office where the Declaration of Independence was drafted.
Yeah, and so they'd have a quill there.
He's like, that would have a quill pen.
Grab one off his desk or something. Yeah.
So they go. Right. I thought it was going to turn like one of those things. Like, where do we find these things? Oh, we got to go around.
Yeah. Now it's a treasure hunt where you got to
find these things to be able to communicate with terrorists.
Yeah.
But they luckily we have Alex there, so it doesn't have to turn into one of those because he just tells them here. There's where you got them, and they are going to send they have to adhere to these rules. They send in an FBI agent disguised as an architect.
Yeah.
Just a simple architect, just an average guy.
Yeah.
But he's secretly an FBI agent. They send him in with an earpiece and he's got to communicate with the terrorists. Yep. The founding fathers, we'll call them.
The founding fathers, yeah.
And this is another example of Alex being just impeccably necessary this whole thing because these guys, which is weird. Why'd they tell him why they choose architect?
I don't know. That's what I thought too.
Because they just opened up this whole can of worms they had to deal with at that point.
Because they put him to the test.
He could have been like, hey, I'm a grocery store bag boy.
I'm a cook. I'm a delivery driver.
I'm a cook, something like that. But no, they choose architect and open up, make things 10 times worse for themselves.
I know. It's like, goddamn, guys, just go with like minimum wage labor somewhere in there.
I work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Work at McDonald's.
Like,
that's it.
Boom, done. Architect, for fuck's sake. It's like there's so much math
what are the founding fathers going to do then? Be like, oh, well, what is the colonial impact of what did Benjamin Franklin have direct impact on the McDonald's and the way they handle drive-through orders? There was nothing like that. Because what happens, he tells them he's an architect and they're in the Independence Hall and they tell him, okay, well, describe this building as an architect would.
As an architect would. Yeah. Just tell us about the paneling and the materials it was made of.
All this,
what kind of wood, whatever.
All this stuff.
Then the guy just starts sweating profusely because he
has a little earpiece in.
Yeah.
And Alex, raises his hand, which is the thing he does. He raises his hand to be called upon.
Yeah.
Before he'll speak. And he's like, I can help you out, but I'm a suspect, so I'm going to plead the fifth and reserve my right to remain silent.
Yep.
But hey, if you guys want to make me a consultant, I'll be glad to help you, but I don't want to say anything to incriminate me if I'm a suspect.
Right.
And basically forces their hand.
Yeah.
I love that part.
It's good.
Just him like knowing how to work authority.
Yeah.
There's like you're a consultant now. You're free.
Yeah.
Like,
fine.
You're no longer a
consultant.
suspect.
God damn it. Yeah. Such a Bruce Campbell moment.
It is.
Such a Bruce moment.
Such a good moment for him.
Because honestly, if you weren't picturing him in your head, it would almost be kind of like too shitty of a thing for your protagonist to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen people pull that in books before or stories or movies, but like it was such a Bruce Campbell, like smooth, like, nah, I'm a suspect, but I don't have to be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to incriminate myself,
Yeah.
But they relinquish him, make him a consultant.
Yep.
And he helps
Get him on
talk
the
the
line.
guy through, because Bruce just knows all this history shit.
Yep.
So he's able to tell him, like, this is this kind of wood, it was this kind of paneling, kind of helps the guy along until, as he's mentioned, the guy just like he just
Sweat
buckets of sweat.
Yeah.
And eventually shorts out his earpiece. And he becomes like one of the only people to die in the book, right?
Yeah. Pretty. I think
one of two. Yeah.
I think so. And it was kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So his earpiece shorts out. He rips out his ear. They're like, he's a fucking fed. He's wired. Cut to outside. You see him start stumbling outside.
Yeah. Described.
And everyone's like, oh my God, there he is. He's get him an escort, whatever.
Yeah.
And he collapses and he falls to the ground face first. And you see in his back is a buck knife pinning a Declaration of Independence, or
the Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. In quotes there, I think.
In quotes, yeah. And into his back. So they fucking drove the Declaration of Independence into his back and fucking shoved him out to die.
Yeah. That was probably the most shocking moment in the book because I'm like, that's the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
What?
You way to make a statement, though. It's one hell of a way to make a statement.
That is. It's like, and it makes sense because the more important document, if there is a more important document, it's the Constitution, you know? Yeah. So they're like, we're not fucking around. Yeah. Oof. That was a pretty shocking moment. That was crazy.
This then generates the FBI to work up another plan. They're going to do like a Trojan horse type deal, which works out. It's one of those things too. Another one of the examples of official storytelling where things just happen as they should for the sake of the story. Where they're like, all right, we're going to take 3 FBI agents, or is it 2? I forget, 2 or 3.
I think 2 and then Alex, I believe.
2 and then Alex, but Alex is later.
Oh, okay. So it might have been
because it's 2 agents, Renee and Julius, I think, or Roger.
Roger.
Yeah, I think it might have been Roger.
It might have been. Yeah,
Renee
I think it was Roger. I think Julius was more the guy calling shots.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's going. Roger and Renee are going to just kind of get into the Independence Hall and just be like, we're hostages. We're tourists.
We were here the whole time.
We were here the whole time. What happened? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then get in with the hostages that way. One was going to basically be undercover to protect the documents. The other one was going to be undercover to protect the hostages.
Right. Yeah.
So the SWAT team could come in and deal with the founding fathers.
Yep. And they get in with Alex's knowledge of like the renovations that were done to the building.
Alex knows how there's these
stuff
hidden parts in the building where you can get in.
Yeah. Yep.
Where there was renovations made and entrances that were covered up where you can get in.
Yeah.
And they get in, but then the founding fathers send a dinner request.
Right.
We're hungry.
My God. We'll need food, please. Let's send out an order.
Food, and not just any food. They don't want Burger King or Texas Roadhouse. They want pheasant and maize.
Pheasant and fucking maize.
Yeah, pheasant and maize. That's what they want because colonial stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Because, they're founding fathers.
Jesus.
They want just pheasant and maize.
Ridiculous.
And that opens up the possibility for Alex to get in. He's like, I'm going to pose as a dinner caterer or whatever.
Yeah.
And he gets in, but it's just a weird part. It's just like pheasant and maize because we're colonial people. We eat colonial things.
Yeah,
we don't eat regular shit.
Sake. Yeah, no modern food here.
No, it's got to be from fucking 150 years ago. Only recipes from 200 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And they're like, okay, corn on the cob and this random bird. Bird. Goddamn. Like, I don't even know what pheasant tastes like.
That allows us to have Alex, Renee, and the villain, Jacob or
that Harris guy.
Jacob Harris. Gets us all of our characters in the same place. They're all in Independence Hall now.
Yeah.
And they are getting ready to do the big convention. They're going to ratify the Declaration of Independence.
Or the Constitution.
The Constitution. Yeah, sorry. I keep calling it Constitution. There was a pretty good line in here from Harris. He steps up to the speaker's box and he says, death and taxes. Once the only things we could be utterly sure of. Death and the hands of the Almighty is beyond our control. Taxes, on the other hand, are the result of zealous bureaucrats, and it is our duty not only to control them, but to abolish them. We're gathered here tonight to consider the 16th Amendment. This illegal amendment, never fully ratified, must be repealed.
Nice.
That's like the main drive. These guys, they just want to get rid of taxes.
No more taxes. Yeah, we don't.
Urs would love this book.
Yeah.
Urs would have a lot of problems with it. Why are you fighting these guys? Let them win.
Come on, Alex. Yeah,
Alex. Stand down. Jacob Harris is awesome. I see a lot of. That's who I put in the role of Jacob Harris. Is Urs.
Yep. There we go. Ursa's our villain. I like it.
Ursa's our villain. Like quotes.
Yeah,
villain.
Air quotes villain. Although at one point Alex does end up poking holes in what they're trying to do.
Yes.
So I liked that about it. It's like, who's the real patriot here? Who's the real authentic guy?
Yes, because that is like the big question they pose. What does he? How does he poke holes in it? We'll spoil that.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll let him know. Yeah.
Yeah. Gets him on some technicalities. Oh, you're asking me how he does it? Yeah. Oh, I don't remember. I just remember the. Let's see.
He does poke holes in it because that's the big part of the book is what makes a patriot,
right?
That's like the big thing of it. Alex is a good thing at the end. He explains what a patriot is, but he does poke holes in the founding fathers and their plan.
Let's see. I'm scrolling through. Okay. Here we go. So he's basically kind of doing the whole like Socratic method of like asking questions, like, so you did this, so you did that, right? He's like, so, amending the Constitution, that's kind of a big deal. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, okay, so you sent your amendments through the proper like committees, the General Accounting Office, and the guy was like, this convention is more of a fast track, and he's like, oh, okay, fast track, huh? Let's see. Okay. He goes, I guess I missed the notice. I'm quoting directly here. I guess I missed the notice of public hearings, which they didn't do any public hearings. So he's like calling him out yet again on,
he knows the shit. He knows the shit.
And this Harris fellow kind of, gets a little dismissive of that. He's like, well, it's more important I will quote directly again. In the interests of national defense, certain matters can be conducted behind closed doors. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you've heard of the term executive session, which of course Alex has heard of that. He's pretty familiar with it. And he offers to deliver the amendments to the states when he's done. And he's like, they're like, okay, your Constitution. Yeah, cool. So it's a bunch of stuff like that where he's like, okay, so you did this part of this process.
If you love history, you will love this book.
Yeah.
If anyone here is like loves just like old colonial like history, this book is like one of the you would fucking love. It's got a lot of that of like, oh well, what about this? Well, what about that?
Yeah.
The Constitution says this. Oh well, there's amendment number so and so that says this.
A
lot of that. Like what do you call that? What is that called? Where you hold up Congress?
Is it gerrymandering?
No, it was in Citizen Kane. Or not Citizen Kane, and I forget what it's called. It happened just recently. Someone did that. I forget what it's called, but it's where you hold up, because everything has to go through a process, so you can hold it up.
Yeah,
by basically just occupying the floor.
Oh yeah, that is That's not Jeremy.
It's called. I don't think that's what it's called.
I'm gonna look it up.
Filibuster.
Filibuster.
It's a filibuster.
Damn it, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, filibuster. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. If you love that kind of shit,
I do. Yeah,
you'll love this book because it's a lot of that. Alex, especially when Alex and Jacob Harris get together, and like you have them kind of batting wits of like who knows the most, who is the true patriot, all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Who's got the most know-how and the most knowledge of the Constitution and stuff.
And much like the rest of this book, this opens up, just so happens open up the field for the SWAT teams to burst in.
Yep.
Capture the founding fathers, except for Jacob Harris. Gets away
with the Constitution.
Gets away with the Constitution. And the name of the book.
Let Freedom Ring.
Citizen Alex, Let Freedom Ring. Yeah. There's a line early in the book too where he talks about the Liberty Bell. Someone's like, what the Liberty Bell is made out of? And he's like, someone's like, oh, copper. And he's like, no, that's not what it's made out of. Which I did. I think I probably heard this before in school and just forgot about it.
Right.
The Liberty Bell is actually made of cannons from both sides of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, which I
that were
hadn't known.
smelted down to make which is such a cool, like, symbolic piece of trivia. Like, that is such a cool symbolic concept for that to be what that bell is produced of. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was neat. Repurposing that metal from war to represent the freedom that war got us. Yeah, that was really cool.
That's really cool. The exciting climax of this book takes us to the top of the Liberty Bell Tower, or no, the Centennial Bell.
Yeah, they did make a distinction. It's like this one's not the Liberty Bell. It was Centennial.
The Centennial Bell. Because I don't think the Liberty Bell's it's not in a tower. I think it's just like on display somewhere.
It's on display, and I think it's outdoors. Like when I was in 5th grade, I went to DC, and I think I saw
I went to DC when I was in
like elementary school, probably.
Yeah, I think I was in 10th grade.
Oh, okay. You were
no, I was 8th grade. I was 8th grade. 8th grade.
Oh, okay. I wish I'd been a little older for that trip. I think I would have appreciated the significance of it.
I'm going to Baltimore here soon, and it's like an hour away from DC. I thought about maybe going to DC.
Oh, great.
But we'll see. Yeah. But so they go to Centennial Bell, which is in Philadelphia.
Yep.
And they're in the Centennial Bell Tower. And Jacob is, trying to negotiate his way out of this because he does still have the Constitution.
Right.
And he threatens to burn it, which he does.
Yeah.
He does fucking set it on fire, which I was like,
the fucking thing
and
on
even
fire.
Alex is like, that's like one time you see him like crack, like he is like panicked. Like he's like, he's pleading with Renee to like, cooperate with this guy. It's like Alex cares so much about the Constitution because he is a direct descendant of James Madison.
Right.
He's, this is his livelihood, his, history.
Yeah.
He loves it. He loves his country. He's a patriot. He wants to protect it.
Yeah.
And this guy fucking sets the Constitution on fire.
Yeah. Because Renee wouldn't back down. Like the guy kept saying, I will burn it. And she's like, no deal. We're coming up for you.
Yeah.
And it was just, he fucking did it. He lit it. And he was like, just quoting stuff, kind of going insane at this point, just like saying really American catchphrases that we have from our history and stuff,
Yep.
Yeah.
Alex is freaking out, but unbeknownst or unaware to himself, Jacob has put himself right in front of the Centennial Bell.
Yeah.
And Alex sees that and sees the bell mechanism.
Yep.
And he gives him a one-liner. He says, "Let freedom ring, motherfucker," and hits the bell. The bell mechanism.
Yes.
The bell rings and knocks Jacob to his death.
Yep.
Crazy.
Oh, it was wild. It was so good.
It was fucking wild. I love that because like the book doesn't have a lot of cursing in it.
No, it doesn't.
And then at the end, that's where you get your he saved it for that. I love that. Let freedom ring, motherfucker. Just good one-liner. I mean that's fucking badass. He kills Jacob Harris. They get what's left of the Constitution. So it isn't fully engulfed. There
were like bits of it kind of fluttering down, and he even caught a little piece that said "We the people."
Yes.
It was like, oh no, so depressing. But then we
lost
out.
that. I was shocked by that. I was like, man,
me too. They really
lost
burned the Constitution. But then we find out these were fake documents.
Yep.
It is revealed to Alex that they never had the real one to begin with.
Which makes you wonder, what the hell is this all about?
I know. That was almost kind of where I was at.
I guess wait a minute. They had hostages. That's probably what
there were hostages.
Yeah.
They were pulling some bullshit. You can't just let armed people like just take over your Independence building and shit like that, I guess. I don't know. I wonder what they were really planning on. It's like, okay, you're going to amend the Constitution. Are people really going to, you're just seizing the government this way? Yeah. Okay, we'll see. You and your pheasants.
I want to pull a line from here real quick. Hang on, let me find the Audible. He has a line in. I wanted to pull real quick.
Okay.
Thought he had a line about what it is to be a patriot or something like that.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I must have missed it. Right. Oh well. But the book ends with Alex remembering that it's Independence Day. He's been through a lot.
Oh yeah,
so he goes back to the Centennial Bell and lets it ring. He says, today's Independence Day, and I'm sure gonna remember this one.
Yep.
And then I think this is like sequel baiting.
I got that impression for sure.
Renee's like, hey, you did so good. He's like, we have a list, the FBI, of ordinary citizens that we call on when we need their expertise.
Yep.
Do you mind if we add you to that? And I think he kind of sums up what it is to be a patriot here, where he says, give us some thought. I'll give it some thought. It's hard to say no to your country.
Yep, that was it. Yeah,
I think that's what a patriot is. Yeah, the patriot doesn't say no to their country.
Yeah, there you go.
And then as the documents are rolled by, the real documents, he gives it a salute.
Yep.
That he served his country.
He did. He did it. Freedom ring.
A real patriot.
Real patriot.
He's a true patriot.
True patriot all along.
And that was it. That was Citizen Alex.
Yeah. There we go.
Quick breeze of a read.
Yes.
If you're looking for that. And Bruce wrote this. Bruce may or may not be the main protagonist. But let's go ahead and let's talk about the quality of Campbell.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Citizen Alex, Let Freedom Ring, 2023 digital novella from Bruce Campbell. What a fun read this is.
Yeah.
If you love history, you love this. It was a little dry in parts for my liking because I'm not a big history guy.
Right.
But I even as I'm reading, I'm like, man, if I was into this shit, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a history buffs guy, which just leads you to believe Bruce is a big history guy.
Yeah, definitely.
It was such a fun story, and it's efficient. I mean, if you're looking for a bunch of substance and deep threading plot lines and subplots and all this, you're not gonna get it here.
Yeah,
this is a summer read.
Yeah, it is. Yep, airplane novella sort of deal. Yeah. You're gonna
airplane, kick back by the pool. Just something to peruse.
Yeah,
I mean, you can read in a couple sessions. It is such a fucking fun story. I definitely think Alex will be back. What do you think? Do you think we'll see Alex Madison again?
I think so. I certainly hope so. I would love to see Alex Madison come back. Heck yeah.
I feel like it's like that was what the ending implies.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be another matter of national security that comes up, and Alex Madison is the only man for the job.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think that's definitely what Bruce was setting up there, and I hope it does.
I wish I would have read this before we went to Bruce Arama. This has been a fun question to ask.
Yeah, to ask him about. Yeah,
that'd been a fun question to pose.
That would have been a good one. Yeah, because I bet he's proud of this. You could tell he did his research. Maybe Bruce. Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Bruce Fest 2023. Maybe we have some stuff to ask our old buddy Bruce.
Yeah.
We're hanging out backstage in the green room, palling around as you do,
sharing some pheasant.
Yeah. I'll bring us some pheasant maize.
Yeah.
I'll appreciate that callback. But man, what'd you think of it, Eric? What'd you think of Citizen Alex?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. It's, if you like you pointed out, if you like history, you're definitely gonna love this book. If you like Bruce's cadence, like the way that he talks and stuff, it's all there. It's very Bruce. The way that this guy talks and the way that, honestly, the way the story plays out too is very like, it could be one of his movies. You know what absolutely. I mean? It really could. And just to give it a little, there isn't a lot of subtlety in it, like you said, but to give it a little bit, he's a proofreader, and the folks that he's up against are trying to kind of amend the Constitution. So I feel like there's some parallels there. He's fixing other writings and works, and so they are in opposition to him. They're trying to do kind of the same thing in a nefarious way. So that's about as deep as that goes, and that's fine.
Our villain, I would have liked to see a little bit where, because the villain is so one note. It could have been any guy in that founding fathers group. It could have been anyone. Because it's just, there's like really nothing to him other than like he's just he's the de facto leader of this group.
Exactly. And he kind of was the same as the rest of them. Like, honestly, his name didn't really stick until this episode.
I had to go back before we started. I had to go back and look,
because there were a couple others that had their names dropped that it just didn't really register. It's like one could have been the other, like you said. But yeah, no, it's great. It's B-movie wonderfulness.
Yeah, this was a fun one. Like I said, there's obviously some faults in it. Not faults, but things I was a little, I thought should have been fleshed out more, but I get why. The book is just a really short breeze of a read. I think that's what he was trying to keep it as. Because it does, the villain's not very well fleshed out. No. The real intentions behind the founding fathers. I mean, they're just a group of guys. And man, the easiest heist in the history. Like I feel like I could go and steal the Constitution at this point if it's anywhere near as easy as that.
Oh yeah.
But overall, this was such a blast read. I loved Alex Madison. Man, that's a good character.
He's great.
Such a cool character, and I really would be interested to see further adventures from Citizen Alex.
Absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. So, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the Audible for this.
Oh my gosh, me too.
God, the Audible it had to be like 40 minutes. It is no way that could be an over an hour.
No.
An Audible version of this.
No.
I'd be very interested in hearing it, especially read by Bruce. It advertises on the cover of the book. It even says like soon to be a Audible or soon to be an audiobook read by the author.
Yeah.
So you got to imagine that's coming out at some point. So.
Oh, the sooner the better. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
for that.
I'd love to put it on and listen to it, especially hear Bruce actually as Alex Madison.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Just hear him saying those lines. Let it ring. Let freedom ring, motherfucker. That's Bruce.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
Yes.
But this has been a great way to spend 4th of July.
Absolutely.
Getting to read just a fantastic piece of literature from Bruce Campbell, and it opens up a whole new possibility for us, Eric. We can do books now. Bruce has a bibliography that we have yet to really touch.
Right.
So maybe here shortly we'll touch on more of those.
Start getting into some of the books.
I think this has been just a great way to spend 4th of July. I didn't know it was going to be this book was that 4th of July-y as it is, but man, it is oozing in independence.
This thing bleeds red, white, and blue like
it is
over
insane.
your eyes.
Everything.
Yeah.
It goes Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Virginia, all on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
The Constitution, the Liberty Bell, the Centennial Bell.
I mean, main character's a history buff patriot. Yep.
Yeah. If somehow they would have had a final fight at the head of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah,
that would have capped it off.
I would have done it with an eagle flying around them. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Jacob Harrison kicks Alex Madison off the Statue of Liberty and think he's dead.
Yep,
and then
an eagle rises up
just as fireworks start to go off.
The eagle opens its beak and the national anthem starts coming out. Yeah. That's the only way
that would have probably been the next step.
Yeah, that's probably where we're going with the sequels. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the sequels gotta have the Statue of Liberty in it.
Yep.
This has been fantastic. Thank you guys for listening to this here.
Yeah.
If you're on your July 3rd, your Independence Day Eve, if you will.
Yeah.
And man, Cult Talk Net, we have we've been doing these events here lately, these weeks that just kind of fall into play. We had, the Cult of Campbell 2-year anniversary, which all just kind of fell into place. And we have a full week of Independence Day stuff here.
Yep.
You would have, if you go to youtube.com/culttalknet, you can check out the July kickoff episode of Jaws, where we talk about Jaws. Some.
Some. You talk a little bit about Jaws. Yeah. During the Jaws episode.
That's at youtube.com/culttalknet. That came out Saturday. Yep. Tomorrow on all podcast feeds, that's Cult of Campbell, American Pie Slices, Cult Talk Conspiracy, Cult of Lore. Yep. As we do with our holiday specials, you will get a very special 4th of July episode as we watch 1996's Independence Day.
Oh, yes.
What better way?
What better way? There isn't one. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Independence Day, they should have called it Our Planet Almost Got Invaded by Aliens Day.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Oh, so on it. That was a good one-liner right there. Bruce worthy.
That should have been one of the lines of the movie.
It should have been. Missed opportunity.
But that comes out tomorrow, July 4th, on all podcast feeds and youtube.com/culttalknet. Wednesday, the 5th episode of American Pie Slices. We're going to prom. Me and Michael are going to prom in that episode.
All right. Oh, I can't wait to get a slice of that.
Check that out. Wednesday, July 5th, the 5th episode. We're almost at the series finale of American Pie Slices. So it's coming to a head. What a fun event that's been.
Yeah.
We'll be kicking back. We'll be kicking back on the day after 4th of July, recovering with a nice apple beer and talking about American Pie.
All right.
And hey, Thursday, July 6th.
Oh,
what do you got going on, Eric?
Oh, we have Cult of Lore is doing a special episode. We're stepping away from Warhammer, and we are going to explore some of our real world lore, the Tall Tales of America. It's going to be called Cult of Lore, American Tall Tales. So we have some fun stuff there. Bailey is going to be joining us on that episode.
Nice.
So yeah, we stole her from Ty for just a little bit so that she could talk about one of her favorite characters in American folk tales, folk history. Not sure what to. Tall Tales. We're doing Tall Tales, and it's going to be great. Yeah. Bigger than life.
I can't wait to hear that because I love the American Tall Tale stuff.
Yeah.
I used to fucking love John Henry when I was a kid. For some reason, that story like really resonated with me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed with John Henry. I had some book. I wish I knew what it was. I had like a kid's book. It was like an illustrated book. It was like a comic of John Henry.
Oh, that's
Love that
cool.
book. I don't know what it was. It was one of those books you have when you're a kid.
Right.
But I was like fascinated by it. The Rock was supposed to do a John Henry movie. Like Netflix released a teaser, and that was like 4 years ago. It never came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Henry, the Steel Driving Man. And I love The Rock. I love John Henry. So.
Yeah. So that would have been a great combo for you, huh?
That would have.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have cast Bruce Campbell as his sidekick.
Yeah. His shaker is what they would have called him.
Yeah. I could have. I could die the next day. Is that happy?
That'd be all you need out of this whole life.
Yeah. I gotta wait for Face Off 2 with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, right. Campbell. Yeah. At least now you have something else to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
But yeah, we got a whole week of just Americana this week, talking about summer blockbusters, American Pie.
Yep.
And American Tall Tales. And right here today, we talked about Citizen Alex. Yep. Let freedom ring, motherfucker. I think that does it for us. Go ahead and go to the store, buy your 12 packs, and set out your ground beef to thaw.
Yeah,
and get the charcoal ready because tomorrow's Independence Day.
Yep,
the most American holiday, and we're happy you at least spent your holiday eve with us, and hopefully you'll be back tomorrow to listen to Independence Day.
Yeah.
Until next time, make sure you follow us at Cult Talk Net across everything: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff. Cult of Campbell comes out on Mondays sometimes. Cult Talk Conspiracy comes out every other Tuesday. American Pie Slices is running every Wednesday up until next week.
Yep.
Next week's the finale of American Pie Slices. We got 6 full episodes total of that. Just craziness of me and Mike drinking beer and talking about American Pie and our teenage years and our experiences. It's a nice slice of life podcast. It was very fun. Me and Mike have been friends since we were, 8,
yep.
8, 9, something like that. We've been
Children
friends.
Age. Yeah.
So we've experienced a lot together, and we talk about all of it in American Pie Slices, and one of our favorite movies of all time. Movie me and Mike bond over American Pie. It was really fun. Good way to spend the summer. And Cult of Lore comes out every first and third Thursday, and make sure you check out youtube.com/culttalknet because Eric does a really cool animated video and a little added viewing experience.
Get some visuals in there for reference and entertainment. Yeah, so
it's pretty good. I've been Ty.
I've been Eric.
And until next time, happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America.
Stay groovy.
Hail to the king, baby.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.